All right, so I just finished a session of Dungeons and Dragons with my brother Ross. We both played level 1 characters, and the experience was kind of hit or miss.
I think it was okay. I mean, I got there late, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we leveled up, so that was okay. We survived.
We hit level 2, and that was kind of the best part of the whole adventure.
Yeah.
We killed a bear.
Killed a bear. Killed some frog people. I got swallowed alive.
Exploded frogs from the inside.
Yeah.
And it was difficult because you kind of had to come in halfway through the first combat encounter, and we swapped a DMPC, which is basically Dungeon Master Player character, for you, and you kind of just had to hit the ground running. Hadn't played your character in a number of months, and it's just sort of like, all right, let's swing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, have you ever jumped in mid-adventure before? I've done it a couple times, but I think maybe this is the most
usually
recent I can remember.
no. I like to be there early. I like to be in there from the start. I've been brought in, kind of recruited. I can't recall a time.
Going in somebody's...
I've come into campaigns mid-campaign, but I haven't come into an adventure mid-adventure, which is,
So it's a little bit awkward for me, but, I enjoyed it. I had fun. I mean...
And a lot of the exposition, the things we need to know in order to complete the adventure, was kind of read, not to critique the DM too much, but it was dryly read from the book, so I wasn't too sure of the name of the location. I wasn't too sure of the name of the town we were in. The adventure itself was kind of railroady. But
would you just kind of say there's the monster mob, let's just roll dice and
that's the encounter.
Yeah, that's the encounter. And that's fine. I don't mind that.
As a player,
I think I still got an immersive experience. The fact that I got swallowed alive, that was an interesting part of the adventure, by a frog, like a giant frog.
We both got swallowed alive.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because I played a halfling and he played a rock gnome.
Right.
And we were attacked by frogs. The frogs hit us with their sticky tongues. We were grappled and we were stuck inside. And then you cast Thunderwave and got us out.
Yeah. It was strange because I destroyed the 2 frogs outside. There was 3 frogs. I was in the middle frog. I cast Thunderwave, which I imagine is just kind of like what Vegeta does in the Saiyan saga, where he just kind of explodes with this blast of energy or whatever. And but it didn't kill the frog I was in, so, what was it, the barbarian orc guy, had to slash with his axe to kind of get me out. And,
I thought that was kind of a weird judgment call, that it was it kind of felt like he decided the frog that you were inside would keep you inside it. I don't know why. It didn't make the most sense for me, but whatever. It's the Dungeon Mastery.
That's in my head. That's what's fun in my head. So, I mean, that is an interesting thing. So, I mean, it probably didn't happen like that. I was probably all strangled up, but the other frogs probably just blew up or whatever. But anyway, I don't know. That's just one of those things.
Was there any
it's probably more fun in your mind than
What was a part of the adventure that you felt we as a team, as players, could have done better?
It seemed like that bear fight at the beginning. At least what when I came in, you guys were fighting a bear, and you went through this pond.
Did you come in during the bear? Or
there was a lady in the lake.
There was a lady in the lake, so you weren't there for the first
weeds.
fight. You were there for the second fight. Okay, so we untangled this maiden, and we were attacked by a bear, and the bear was kind of a surprise, and basically,
there's Mr. Bear coming on.
Yeah, he just happened to be there, and so
he's like, "Oh yes, that trigger of talking and unleashing the."
Now, did you show up just before that, or did you show up? No, you showed up during the mosquito fight.
Oh, the mosquitoes. Yeah,
there were mosquitoes before
then.
Yeah. There were mosquitoes that did a bunch of damage. Each swarm of mosquitoes does 6 points of damage. For a level 1 character, that's you're dead. You would have been dead.
Yeah. I only had 6 hit points.
Yeah. So you have really low constitution. You have negative modifiers to your hit points and your so difficult place to be in. And the bear fight felt like it went on for a good while. Either we were being too cautious, or The bear was much tougher than us.
Well,
what do you think?
I just thought it was strange that you were leading in that encounter, like you were on a rope swimming across the river.
There's a reason why I went across.
Right.
And so I'm playing a halfling cleric, Ghostwise halfling cleric of death. The main reason I went out there was because if the maiden turned out to be like a bogey, like it turned out to be a monster, I could do 3d10 damage with inflict wounds, just maybe 30 points of damage. That was the whole idea of me going out there, but also my character's small enough and lightweight enough that I can be pulled back to the other side of the shore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after dealing with the maiden, seemed like the encounter after that was it was the slaves on the bridge.
Yeah, it was like it was right after that. Yeah, there was like slaves on the bridge.
A little bit of backstory for everyone too. I guess sort of the overarching plot of the adventure is guards or the village militia had gone missing. They had went off to chase off some goblins, but had never returned. And basically, it looked like they had been enslaved by some bullywugs or frog people.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're actually bullywugs. They might. It seemed like they were quote frog folk, which the adventure was published by Goodman Games, and I'm not familiar with it. I'm not familiar with the story.
Right.
Felt kind of railroady. We didn't have a lot of agency in which directions we could go. It's not like we could go forward or backward.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of deviation. There might have been one chance to turn to the left or whatever. It was almost as if they drew a bunch of boxes as opposed to, like, say, a web. And it felt like the choice was to go forward. And then we set the bridge on fire, which I guess ruined the next quest.
Well, yeah, I guess, I don't know. I wasn't familiar. I guess, it was Grant's friends or...
Yeah, they're used to coming over here and playing D&D when I'm the dungeon master, but this time I was the player because one of the kids wants to be a dungeon master now, and so it's his chance to get the hang of it.
I don't know. What would you say, like, your play style is, as a player?
I'm very tactical, but when I'm a first level character, I'm kind of, for lack of a better term, balls to the wall. Like, I like to just get in there, fight, use my abilities. Try to strategize. I'm not really cautious, even if I don't have a lot of hit points. Right. I think it comes from playing a lot of Dota, and the advice in Dota is kill your opponents before they kill you. So within the adventure, I really wanted to kill things before they killed me. So being a Death Domain cleric, I had access to cantrips such as Chill Touch, and I could kind of leapfrog it onto 2 targets as long as they were close to each other. And that kind of caught the Dungeon Master off guard that I was able to do so much damage at level 1. And he was just like, oh, he's a cleric, he'll do healing spells. But no, that's not the way I played him at all.
You were a death cleric.
Yes.
You were one of those classes in the dungeon manual, like the Dungeon Master manual, So, I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm going to, let's change it up, like a unique sort of class. It's not like human fighter, basic.
Yeah, I like to play
generic McNobody, whoever that guy is.
I like to play interesting characters. So, like, my usual character is like a forest gnome, eldritch knight, bounty hunter, who hit level 5 and was cool. He finished a campaign, a starter campaign. So he went from level 1 to 5, and he was kind of different though, where he was a fighter that could cast spells, that was really tanky, but he was a gnome. He had really high dexterity. This character, is just kind of a jerk. I think
you wanted to throw the GM off a little bit, which is cool. I think that's
yes, that actually was the plan.
Kind of give him see what he does with that. But I mean, I kind of came in and there was a lot of encounters, so I mean, it was like your character was really built for fighting, and just dealing a lot of like just
murdering,
nuking, from a distance.
And, like, if we were to describe it, we started with the first encounter was a railroady, read it from the book, talk to the mayor encounter. So that's encounter 1. Encounter 2, we ran into, like, a druid lady in the woods, and her tree is dying. And we had to fight some people she had charmed. The third fight was the mosquitoes in the clearing, and you showed up right at the end of that. And then we had our long rest, and there were no encounters over the night. And then... the next encounter after that would have been the bear. There was the entangled maiden encounter where there was the bear that snuck up on us. So we all fought the bear. And then we had a 5th encounter. So we had 5 encounters in the one session where there was a Taskmaster frog folk, 4 smaller... there was the fourth encounter wasn't the frog folk. The fourth encounter was 3 large frogs.
Yeah.
Giant frogs.
3 large
they ate
giant
us and you
frogs.
blew them up.
I blew them up, yeah.
Yeah.
I should probably talk about my character right now.
Tell us about your character.
Yeah. So the way I made my character was a little bit different than you. Like, I kind of randomly rolled mine, I believe.
Yeah, you used the Colville system.
Yeah. Like, so I rolled 40, or what was it, 3d6?
You had 46 in order, but you needed at least 2 15s, and you kept them.
Right. So I ended up with a 7 in Constitution, which is a -3? -2 to hit points. Yeah. And then I had an 18 in Wisdom. So pretty much decided that I would be a magic user. So I thought, well, I'll pick a gnome because I've never picked a gnome. It was a rock gnome. So basically I ended up in the Cooker Baker Guild, and I could... I had a little tinker kit, but I was also a druid too. So I mean, I don't know. It was a very weird kind
high
of
wisdom.
thing.
Yeah, it was a high wisdom druid character. It's interesting that we were both fall under the idea of a priest character, where you are more in tune with nature, and in its nature as a religion. And my idea is I belong to a church, and
that was chaotic good,
and I was lawful evil. And some people, it's he's an evil character, so he'll kill us in our sleep. No, I actually don't think that at all. I think, an evil character, it's just my heart's desires are 180 from everyone else's.
Right.
Very selfish. And, my view of the world and how it reflects my actions, that's really what I think the alignment does. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm a murderer because I'm lawful, especially, but, I'm going to use the church to get gain.
You'll manipulate people.
I will manipulate people. And and it's interesting that I went with the race Ghostwise Halfling because, I was min-maxing the characters. Ghostwise Halfling gets a bonus to dexterity and wisdom, and those are 2 really good traits if you're going for a dex build cleric.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there was a little bit of crunch there, but also no one's played a Ghostwise Halfling at the table yet, and I like the idea
What
of
is
being...
Ghostwise?
They're feral halflings that live in the deep wood area. They're rare. They're kind of like a barbarian tribe. I just sort of had the idea, whereas this angry little man who was a member of the church and was going to manipulate people for his own gain... And I was kind of, a little bit of a holy warrior, and also that it's, this dark idea of being a death domain cleric, but working with the good guys. And it's interesting. It's how can the lawful evil character be in a party with the lawful good character? And I declared that he was the champion of my faith. He's the champion of my faith. We're level 1 characters. He hasn't picked his oath yet. And, there's opportunity there.
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility. There could be good and bad people. Not everybody is necessarily aligned all in the same way in a church or a group or something like that. Different people. It's anything's possible.
Something else we did was we rolled on. You weren't here for it, but we rolled on fiasco style bonds. And
what the heck is that?
Okay, so that's okay. So there's a D20 chart that was published on the Sly Flourish blog. And it's the idea that you roll a 20-sided die and it's going to create a bond with someone. And mine was I had a business relationship with a character, and the character I had a business relationship with was the paladin. And so I just determined we're both part of the same church, and he is the holy warrior who goes off on quests for the church. Meanwhile, I'm kind of the religious leader of the church who sponsors him. So I, collect tithes and offerings from the members of the church and the local community, and then give them to finance the paladin's quests. Likewise, the paladin was childhood friends with the barbarian. There was a barbarian in the party, a half-orc barbarian, and the paladin was a half-elf. And then we had the rock gnome druid, and then the ghostwise. I
just like shiny things.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
I just like shiny things.
He's a gem finder.
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
don't know.